Jack Torr from Jack Torr and Sofia is a travel YouTube creator who has grown his channel to 100,000 subscribers and nearly 10 million views in 2 years. Jack joins us to talk about what inspired him to quit his 9-to-5 job to start YouTube and chase his dreams, the stories behind some of his most viral videos like his recent engagement video, and his thoughts on building your business on YouTube. Join us for this exclusive Advertising Week interview with travel creator Jack Torr.
I am joined by Jack Torr, a YouTube legend who now has 88,000 subscribers in just 2 years. Jack, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Typically, we start these by hearing a little bit about you and what got you started on YouTube.
My starting on YouTube was a little bit different to some people. I guess some people start YouTube as a hobby or, making videos for family. But I sort of came into YouTube with a different look and a different aspect from it. I was working in corporate 9-to-5 behind a desk, going in every day at 7:30 a.m., leaving at 5. Just finished uni and I was working for a company that had 8 different businesses under it. I was working in marketing. Pretty standard job, but there was a lot of pressure. After 4 months of being in the role, I got promoted to like a manager level. So I was managing people. And I remember one day at my desk, I had like this sort of like anxiety attack. And I was like holding onto my desk and I was like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? And I remember looking up and I see my boss and he's like pale white skin, hunched over, overweight. And I'm like, is this really where my future's heading? Like, is this where I'm going? Anyway, that night I called my parents and I said, no, I can't do this. I wrote my resignation letter. 2 weeks later, I quit. Went to live with my parents for about 3 weeks. Then bought a one-way ticket to Thailand. Mind you, this was in the middle, well, not in the middle, towards the end-ish of the pandemic. There was still a lot of restrictions and everything. I had to quarantine when I got to Thailand. And my goal, my mission to how to make money and how to start this new life was YouTube. Ever since I was 15, I was watching travel YouTube videos. I thought, wow, that would be so cool to do. And that's what I set out to do. But my first 2 videos were in a hotel room because I was too nervous to go outside and vlog in public, right? And I had this one mentor who had about 80,000 subscribers at the time. And he sent me an Instagram voice message. And he said, mate, I just watched your first 2 videos on YouTube. He said, get out of your bloody hotel room and go film something. And the first 2 videos, I was just talking about how I landed in Thailand and whatever, this is my backpack and stuff like that. I said, go and film something. So the next day I went out and I was so nervous, shaking with the camera. But yeah, that's sort of how I started. And then from there, slowly grew and now we're at almost, 90,000 subscribers and making decent money. So yeah.
Yeah, amazing. No, and what made you decide on Thailand as a first place to start? Had you been there before?
Yeah, so I'd been there once with a group of friends in 2019, before the pandemic, and then once with my parents when I was about 10 years old. Thailand's cheap. It was the only country that was sort of opened, and I just wanted to get out of Australia, so there was no other option.
Initially, when you started and you got those vlogging muscles going, was there a specific video or a time where it just like clicked for you and you started to see, a change in yourself and the content and the reception of the content with the viewers?
Yeah, I think that probably happened in my first viral video, when it sort of clicked and I realized what my videos needed was a hook, right? So to have a good YouTube video, you sort of need 3 things. You need a good thumbnail that is true to your video. You can't clickbait anymore. The YouTube algorithm is too good. You need a good thumbnail that's true to your video. You need very good first 30 seconds, a great intro. And then your video needs to be pretty good and people need to be interested. And you need maybe a fourth little bonus thing is a good description as well. What your description says needs to tie in with the video, and all those things need to be true to each other. You can't have something that contradicts each other. Everything needs to be true, so then the algorithm realizes that nothing's clickbait and what they're delivering is true. So the moment I realized that was my first viral video, because I spent hours on this edit, putting so much effort into the first 30 seconds, into the intro, into the title, into the description. And I think in the first 24 hours, it got 100,000 views.
Wow.
And I remember I was like waking up, like I went to sleep at like 10 p.m. and I woke up at like 12, refreshed it, and I was at 40,000. And woke up at like 3 a.m., refreshed it, was at like 60,000. And I was like, holy shit, like this thing is going viral, you know? And I was traveling with my mate at the time, and he was like so excited too, you know? We were both just like, we were like little kids eating lollies for the first time, you know? It's crazy. And I remember thinking, okay. And I called my dad, my dad's a businessman. And I said, Dad, like I got this viral video. And he said, all right, Jack, like let's break it down. What did you do differently this time? And like, we worked it out that what I said at the start is like good hook, true title, true description. If you tie all those things together, you have a good video. Then with a little bit of luck, YouTube might serve it to a big audience.
What do you say to the people that blame the algorithm for videos not getting views?
Look, the algorithm's designed, and Creator Inside, which is YouTube's channel dedicated to creators, recently had on one of the top dogs for the algorithm. The YouTube algorithm is in charge of it. And he said that the algorithm is designed to give everyone a fair go. Everyone has equal opportunity to go viral. But as I said before, you need those 4 things. So when people say that their stuff doesn't go viral, they're either not doing those 4 things properly, or they haven't done the right topic.
Yeah, or they're doing
now,
4 things, but they're compromising the authenticity of the actual video, right?
Exactly. I think YouTube's shifting, and I believe it's already shifted. If we had this conversation 6 months ago, I'd say it's shifting, but I believe YouTube's already shifted to, YouTube has realized now that people are very much over the clickbait, the fake stuff. They want to see, the people really want to see real life now. It's gone past the days of like, you know, 1,000-degree knife versus balloon and stuff like that. Like, you know, people want to see real, they want to see raw, they want to see true. I think they're sort of over this this sort of fake world. They want to see the real deal, especially with how addicted we are with social media. Is we're so addicted, but to feel that addiction properly in our brains, we need to see real stuff, right? You can only take up in so much fake stuff.
And how do you decide how long your videos should be for YouTube?
I think it's a great question. I think it really depends on the type of audience you have, right? So if you're creating TikToks or short content, then you know you have to hook people within the first like 2 seconds, right? But if you're creating longer stuff and strictly for YouTube and for longer videos, then you sort of got to find your sweet spot with what works, right? I have friends that make 8 to 12 minute videos. I have friends that make 30-minute to 1 hour videos. For myself, I make videos that are around 20 minutes long, and then every now and then I'll release a 2-hour documentary. But that 2-hour documentary gets pushed to an entire different audience.
And a YouTube
and absolutely. And like my 20-minute audience, only maybe 10% of that audience will watch my 2-hour documentary. So it's really interesting. So one thing that YouTube loves is consistency, right? So if you're continuously delivering 8-minute videos, then that's great, because those, you're going to get recurring viewers, and if you get those recurring viewers watching for long enough, then YouTube realizes, okay, Jack's recurring viewers or Joe's or Alex's recurring viewers are, watching for long enough, and then they'll push the video. So I believe that if you're making videos on YouTube, you sort of need to play around with how long you think is good. At the start, you can make 10 minutes, you can make 15 and play around, and then see what works the best for you and for your channel, really.
Yeah, that's great advice. What would you say is the hardest part of being a creator that maybe you underestimated when you got started?
I think when you have a very viral video, my fiance and I recently got engaged. And we had a viral video. Thank you so much. Thank you. We had a viral video that got over 2 million views. And from that video, we had, I think, at least 20 plus news articles written about us. We were on nighttime, 6 p.m. news in the country where the video went viral.
This is Bangladesh,
we got Nepal.
Nepal. Okay, sorry, Nepal.
Yeah.
And so they
Similar
were covering it in the local news.
Yeah, covering it in the local news. And essentially the video was our engagement, right? Australian and Nepali getting engaged. Like, it's very rare in these type of countries. You don't see that often. So we were extremely viral, had heaps of interview requests. But I think one thing that is hard sometimes is the trolls and the bad comments. As much as you can, I really don't care what people think. Like, I'm out here living a life that I love to live. So everyone else can go and think what they want. But sometimes it can subconsciously get to you, these negative comments. And you don't realize it does, but sometimes it can really get to you and go, wait, like, is that true? Or like, no, that's not true. But like, sometimes it really gets in your head. And I think that's one thing about YouTube that you have to be really careful with is if you know that your mindset struggles with negative feedback, or if you're a very sensitive person, or you can't take things that well, then you really need to understand yourself and who you are before you get a viral video or something like that, because otherwise it will break you if you can't deal with the negative repercussions of like people commenting stuff and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it can be scary.
What do you do personally to avoid getting caught up in negative comments?
To be honest, what I do is if I'm reading a comment and I'm reading the first 5, 6, 7 words, by then I'd already know if it's negative. I don't read the rest, just hit delete.
Hopefully the commenters aren't listening. The trolls are going to learn how to hook us in the comments, and then we're all they're like, now, based on Jack's advice, I need a good hook on this comment to get him at least a sentence in, right? But it's crazy. Yeah. You can have 100 of the most positive comments ever, and that one comment, is the one that stands out, right? And I think as you get bigger and you reach more people, not everybody is going to like everything, and not everybody's having a good day, and people hide behind keyboards. So it's inevitable that the bigger you get and the more people you reach, that it's going to be somewhat polarizing, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And at the same time, like, you just got to think that if they saw you in person, they're not going to say these things. It's just because they're behind a keyboard. And yeah, like, sometimes it's hard, but overall it's like, who really cares? You just got to look at it like that, because if you read into it too much, then your mental health is going to go way down. And that's not from me speaking, but like, from personal experience, like, my mental health has really been affected by comments. But if you are someone that that may affect you, then you really need to get in the right mindset to prepare for that.
So when you think about, your journey on YouTube and how far you've come in such a short period of time, what are some of the moments that stand out to you as the best moments on your channel, and for you personally, since you started your channel on YouTube?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess one was my first viral video, which was when I was in Malaysia. 100,000 views in 24 hours. That was pretty special. And I guess another thing was, I think I was 2 months into my channel and I had about 200 subscribers. And one of the people I follow on YouTube, he had about 70,000 subscribers at the time. And he did a post on Instagram saying, I'm in Bangkok, I'm going to this theme park tomorrow. I don't want to go by myself. Like, come with me. And I'm like thinking, wow, like this guy has a lot of Thailand followers. There's going to be a lot of people there. I'm going to bring my camera. I'm going to film, you know, to try and collaborate with him. And I wake up at like 5 a.m., get to this theme park by like 6:30, and I meet him and there's no one else there.
Oh, wow.
It's just me and him. And I said, oh shit. And I said, do you mind if like I film today? Like we can both make a video. And he's like, no, of course, mate. Like all good. And I'm like, you know, I'm here like a sort of like a fanboy, like, oh, this guy's like really cool. I want to be like him. You know? And I'm like, keep it cool, keep it cool. And like, we go out and film, and it was a great day. We're on the theme parks, on the rides, screaming, filming, and doing all of this, you know. And towards the end of the video, he goes to shout out my channel, and he's vlogging, and he says, this is Jack, you know, you should go subscribe and all of this. But what ended up happening was the audio for the end of his day and when he was doing that vlog was absolutely ruined on his camera.
Oh no.
Right? So he messaged me, hey mate, like the part where we shout out your channel, the audio wasn't working. He's like, don't worry, I'll work something out. So what ended up happening was, for the first time in any of his videos, you might have seen like sometimes Casey Neistat does this. You take that edited clip and you use your camera and pull it back from like Premiere Pro. You know what I mean? It's like so like he got the edit, pulled it back, and then he was in like his hotel room and saying, so unfortunately my audio wasn't working, but Jack was doing a really nice piece to camera saying subscribe to his channel. Because of this, because his mic wasn't working, it actually worked out better. And in 3 days, I gained like 1,500 subscribers.
Wow.
Just from this one shout out. And I was just like so blessed, because I'm like, I can't believe it. Like the microphone wasn't working and it's worked out so much in my favor. And then from there, it gave me really good momentum. And then I went to Vietnam and filmed and all of that. So I guess that's two really big moments. And then I guess the third big moment that stood out would be Sophia and I's engagement video, and that getting 1 million views in under, I think it was 4 days. And then after 2 weeks, it was at 2 million. Yeah. So one thing that we're really proud of is our engagement video. We said in the video and in the description that we'll be donating all the money made from the video to the people of Nepal. And we've actually raised just under $5,000
Wow.
From that video. That's amazing. Which is so awesome. So we're so proud of that, and we've already donated about 1,000 of it to some cancer patients in Nepal, and then also to some rural families in rural Nepal as well that need help. So it's such a blessing, because it's like the most viewed video on our channel is actually going to help people. So it's really cool to have that.
What made you decide to do that? I mean, that's really selfless of you.
Of course, I think like in some ways we really wanted to give back. And as well, we wanted to share our engagement video with people, because we feel like we share our lives on YouTube. People have a connection with us. It'd be a nice thing to share, but we didn't feel right to profiteer off that. You know, we knew the video would do well. We knew it would get at least 100,000 views. We didn't think 2 million. But we didn't feel it was right to collect profits off a video that we knew would go viral and, you know, sort of feel like we were making it for the money, which it wasn't. It was to share with everyone our journey, and, you know, Nepal has given us so much, so we really wanted a chance to give back. And because we knew the video would do well, it's like, you know, we knew that obviously we'd have some money to be able to give back from it. So that's why we chose that video also.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's amazing. And you have a great memory, right? It's cool to know that you have a memory and it has millions of views and other people are experiencing it with you, right? And to combine that with a social initiative is really something special. So that's awesome. Have you found that as you make videos in certain countries that your audience reflects the place that you're in or filming from?
Yeah, right. So I guess it really depends on the country and it depends on the creator, right? So our engagement video, the percentage of Nepali people that watched was only 20%.
Oh, wow.
Which in reality is actually really good because we got like 10% from the US. I think Australia was 6%, the UK was 4%, and then the rest of the percentage were just like every country in the world, essentially. There was views from everywhere, which is really good because when you're making YouTube videos, especially if you're a travel content creator, you don't want viewers all from one country, because as soon as you go to another country, it'll absolutely destroy your channel.
Yeah.
Newcomers that come into the space now think, oh, cool, I don't have to do high editing. I can just do raw vlogs. I'll get all of these views in the Philippines, all these views in Bangladesh. But what happens is it's all the local audience. And then after a year, when your money runs out and you're not getting paid much, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
So you really got to be, you really got to be careful. You know, you have to see if you're in YouTube and you want to stay in YouTube for 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 years, you got to see YouTube as a business. You got to, of course, you need to have fun and enjoy it. And that doesn't mean that you can't if you see it as a business. But if you don't see YouTube as a business, then you'll be going home sooner than you think, especially if you're a travel content creator.
Definitely. And what's your plan? Like, what do you have goals for what you want to accomplish on YouTube and where you want to be a year, 3, 5 years from now?
Absolutely. So currently I'm right here in China. I'm made a really good new connection here with a guy who has 300,000 subscribers on YouTube and massive following on the Chinese platforms, on Bilibili, on Chinese TikTok, and he also works for the media here. So he's got a lot of really good connections, and him and I have been working together, making some videos together. So currently the plan and the direction for the channel is Sophia and I have decided that we're really going to be creating content for Nepal, for Bhutan. Bhutan is inviting us back to come and film for them again, and also here in China. We love all 3 countries, and I think that's where the channel will sort of be focusing on. I've recently started a Bilibili account, which is essentially Chinese YouTube, and my first video got over 70,000 views on Chinese YouTube. Already have 4,000 subscribers on Chinese YouTube. So we're really looking at, the possibilities of potentially living in China part-time and living in Nepal part-time and just seeing where that goes. But we sort of have our doors open, but we're just seeing what opportunities we can get from these countries, I guess.
How long do you see yourself doing YouTube?
It's a great question. I think after about 3 months' time currently, I'm going to have a break. I haven't had a proper break in a while, and I really need a reset. One negative about YouTube is YouTube loves consistency, unfortunately. And sometimes that consistency can negatively impact your creativity and your passion and your want to make videos. And then sometimes it comes out as forced. And when you're doing something that comes out as forced, that's not the reason you got into something. I'm going to be taking a break after 3 months, but I think we'll be doing YouTube for another 5 to 10 years, I would say.
What advice do you have for other creators or people that are thinking about starting a career on YouTube?
I know that this might sound, what's the word? Like condescending, but just start. And I know that that sounds like really bad, but literally pick up a camera and on your next holiday, or, you know, when you go 2 hours away from your house to like do a bushwalk or whatever it is, film it, edit it, put it on YouTube. Just start, you know. That's how I did. I think my first video was me talking about how I'm leaving for traveling. My second video was me packing my bags. You know, so just start. If you want to make a cooking channel, then cook what you're, film what you're cooking for dinner, edit it, add some music, do a nice thumbnail, post it, send the link to your friends.
I love that.
That's the best advice I can give. Just start, learn from your mistakes. Your first videos are going to be rubbish. Everyone's first videos are rubbish, but just start.
Amazing. And do you have any words for all the Jack Torr subscribers and fans that are tuning into this?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you got a different insight into this video, and I guess we talked about things that don't normally get shared on our day-to-day travel videos. So I hope you enjoyed them. Thank you guys.
Well, thank you for joining us. I think all of the growth and the traction and viral videos are a testament to all the hard work and figuring it out. And I think you're obviously really smart guy, but you have talent and a really amazing work ethic. So I'm a big fan of the channel, and I can't wait to watch where you take it from here.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Joe. Thanks for having me on, mate.